It was one of those quiet Sunday mornings, when everything felt too normal to be real. The smell of toasted bread, the slow ticking of the wall clock, the hiss of the kettle on the stove. My wife, Emily, sat across from me, scrolling through her phone. Pretending to be absorbed in some recipe video, or maybe a text from a friend I didn't know about. Her hair was still damp from the shower, tied into a loose bun. She didn't look at me once, and I remember thinking, how silence can be louder than any argument. That's when I heard the knock at the door. It was Tom, our neighbor. He's one of those friendly guys who's always got a small favor, or some news to share. I opened the door expecting him to ask about borrowing my ladder again. Instead, he handed me an envelope, dropped in his mailbox by mistake. "Morning, buddy," he said with a grin. "Oh, and hey, funny thing. I saw your car again last night. Parked over by that motel off Route 9. Twice this week, actually." The air in the kitchen shifted. Emily froze mid-sip. The spoon slipped from her hand, clinking sharply against her cup. A brown ripple of coffee spread across the white tablecloth. Tom didn't notice. He laughed, said something about teenagers racing down that road, and left. The door clicked shut. I stood there just holding the envelope, feeling the world slow down. Emily looked up at me. Her lips parted slightly, eyes darting, searching for the right emotion to wear. Shock? Confusion? Denial? She settled on a shaky smile. "He probably saw someone else's car," she said softly. "There are tons of gray sedans like ours." I didn't respond. I just walked to the table, sat down, and poured myself another cup of coffee. The sound of liquid hitting porcelain filled the silence, like background music to a confession that hadn't been spoken yet. She kept talking. Her voice trembled but tried to sound calm. Something about mistaken identity. About how Tom drinks too much. About how that motel was near a restaurant she'd mentioned once. I stirred my coffee slowly. The spoon clinked again and again, and I looked straight at her. That's when I saw it, the tiny tremor in her left hand. She placed her phone face down on the table. Too fast. Like someone hiding a loaded weapon, my heart didn't race. I didn't feel rage. Just something colder, heavier. A kind of stillness that comes only when truth walks into the room uninvited. She broke the silence first. "You're not going to say anything?" she whispered. I shook my head. "No need," I said quietly. "He already did," she flinched, eyes glistening now. "You don't believe him, do you?" I leaned back, took a slow sip, and watched the steam rise between us. "I believe what I see," I said, "and I see you trying too hard to sound innocent." That was the moment she stopped pretending. Her shoulders dropped. Whatever story she'd been building in secret crumbled under one casual comment from a neighbor. It's funny how betrayal doesn't need a grand reveal. Sometimes it just walks through the front door, holding a letter, and leaves you sitting there, watching the person you love turn into a stranger in real time. She stood up suddenly, muttering something about needing air. I didn't move. I let her go, the door closed, and the house fell silent again, except for the ticking clock and the faint drip of spilled coffee on the floor. That's how truth works. It doesn't knock twice. Pause for tone shift. When she walked out that morning, I didn't follow. I just sat there listening to the echo of her footsteps fade down the driveway. The sunlight hit the spilled coffee, turning it into a small pool of rust. I cleaned it slowly, one paper towel at a time, as if I could erase the evidence of something I didn't want to see. But the smell lingered. A bitter, burnt sweetness that stuck to the air. I stayed in that chair for another hour, thinking about how long the signs had been there, how many little things I'd ignored, because I didn't want to believe what my gut already knew.